What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be talking about the new clips and how they are going to really affect NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Because I don't think they're going to have too much of an effect. I think that a lot of what people are going to look for is still going to be the same, regardless of how the game's played. It's just we're not going to be seeing as much, we're probably not going to see as much three hunting, unless it's specifically with, a Steph Curry. But, the behind-the-back escape doesn't seem like it's going to take a burst. So Steph Curry could be a really interesting card as well. However, I do think we're not going to be seeing too many play shot type cards in my team. But in this video, we're going to explain every little thing and how it specifically is going to affect the way my team is played day one. Obviously, there's going to be patches. People are going to complain just like every year. Just like every year, we have a certain gameplay on day one, and then players, especially park players, complain and we get something changed. The only one year where I will say that the gameplay was bad on day one was NBA 2K21. That first day of launch, man, I liked it because it was good, but it was all objectively bad game. People hated it. 22 launched well. They said they weren't going to change much. They patched the living daylight of everything in 2K22. 2K19, I didn't launch too badly. I didn't even think 2K21 next gen launched too badly. But we're going to be listening to Splash here break down dribbling, and then we can listen to this and see how this can have an effect on the game.
Stamina going down crazy. His adrenaline not going down as quick though. Double momentum. Yeah, you see what I mean?
You can see that here.
The moves where he's standing in place.
So if you're standing in place, as long as you don't hit that R2 button, I think it looks like you can do any dribble moves you want.
The moves where he's standing in place, he's not actually losing it because he's clipping into another move where he's still standing still. So he just did a double momentum into a misdirection and he ain't lose shit because he ain't advanced forward yet. So it looks like once you that in the video, and I'm finna turn his shit back on, just doing this, if you standing in...
that's one of the big things, is the ability to kind of do that. All I think is it's going to mean is that you can make your move, but if you miss your move 3 times in a row, you're kind of screwed. That seems what it's going to be. It doesn't seem like it's as much of a nerf to dribbling as it seemed from the initial Jonos clips. The initial Jonos clips, he obviously must have been doing the wrong things. It showed him losing stamina while sprinting. But it does seem like you can dribble a lot better than we initially thought. But it also does seem like there is a big nerf on dribble spamming than there was previous years.
Place, it don't look like you lose nothing. Obviously, you're probably not gonna be able to do it like this, but it looked like that don't lose nothing. But once you do this, wait, hold up. Once you actually go for it, now that's an adrenaline boost. Or now, what I was saying about the tray slide is because this nigga was just doing this. The way to do tray slide, steady slide, whatever y'all do. I'm just talking about when you do this back. My bad. When you just do this back and forth, this is gonna take an adrenaline boost every single time because you're speed boosting horizontally. You feel me? You're actually speed boosting. So all of these is going to take adrenaline boost. So you're not going to be able to spam that. So you're going to have to figure out a way to do a move standing still before you go into a new move. You feel me? How you do?
So basically, what Splash is saying is that you're gonna be able to do rhythm dribbles and burst out of them, but you're not going to be able to burst one way, burst the other way, burst one way, burst the other way, which hugely takes away from left riding. But one thing from especially Jono's video that we noticed is that layups are going to be really easy to score. So,
but this is over a dude with
just where's the layups? So one thing is contest system. You never know because this is on pro difficulty. As far as I'm aware, the contest system isn't this bad. But this is the one thing I will say is that you can see Jordan just bully balled. I heard people complaining about this and they were like, oh, how is Jordan able to do this? It does seem like 2K have brought back the mid-range game, which means, if you guys don't understand, when 2K bring back the mid-range game, in 2K15, 2K16, well, 2K15 especially, and it's 17 was good for it as well. 15 was the year where the mid-range game mattered. And the one thing when the mid-range game matters, people are kind of struggling with thinking about when the mid-range game matters, is that it just brings a whole new way of playing the game. In 2K15, Alex English used to have a 95 mid-range, but a 63 ball. But you were able to use Alex English so effectively because all you had to do is get him open. You see what Jordan does in this possession here. Uses strength. Boom. Gets his strength to get into the key. Hop step. Fade away. You see that there? That looks like it's going to be an open now. Which it is. That is an open shot for anyone who's shooting the fadeaway. I would rather post fadeaways be too overpowered than post fadeaways not work like this year. If you shoot a fadeaway over a 6-footer with Dirk, it's registering as a damn contest. That's what I like to see. I like to see stuff like that. But as well as that, going to the basket is whatever about this. I don't understand where the complaint is with this being too overpowered. He missed. It's obviously the dunk meter there. Okay. I kind of like the dunk meter. That's a dunk meter as well, is it? Yeah. It doesn't seem like he would have been chase down block last year. With that there, would have been a chase down block in 2K22. You see that? Like, you can do moving behind the backs as well without taking things any in the way. Like, slashers look to be kind of it this year because of how easy the dunk meter looks. But, where's the layups? So this one shouldn't go in. That one shouldn't go in. That's just a shot that's on pro difficulty. That shouldn't go in. But, like, stuff like this. Like, I heard people saying, oh, he shot this over 3 people. Like, what 3 people? He has, like, Jordan is open, by the way. Like, this was my whole thing. I'm like, Jordan's open. So now if you can actually get actually open in the paint, you're going to be seeing, like, really kind of effective players. So what that means is that a player who's got a good mid-range shot is suddenly effective. A lot of people are saying, oh, layups are too overpowered. But according to Henry, who played the game, all-around defense is exceptionally better. Which means that it does seem like there is a skill to it. And apparently at higher difficulty, scoring layups and stuff, there is a quite skill to it. You got to be able to, like, time layups, and you do miss quite a lot of them on higher difficulties, which I would rather see layups be too overpowered than layups be underpowered, to be honest. But as far as I'm aware, from what people are saying, the defense around the rim is better. So, like, yeah, you're looking at Michael Jordan here scoring all these points because it's freaking Michael Jordan. Like, he should be able to do it since Michael Jordan. And then something like this, I heard people actually complain about this scenario, and are like, how is Jordan able to do that? That's an open layup. Like, people have actually been so almost brainwashed in video games, because this would miss 99 times out of 100. In other years, this would miss. This is an open layup. I just want to put this out there for 2K guys that don't play basketball. This is an open layup. Like, this is an open layup. People are like, oh, he's scoring over 3 people. This is an open layup. There's nobody guarding him. Just like that open turnaround jumper, there's no hand in his face. Players were standing behind him and standing under the basket when he's on the freaking dotted line. This is an open layup. And one. Like, that's an and one for Jordan every single time. And, like, even that's a wide open dunk. Like, I don't understand why people are saying these are, like, negative clips. These are wide open dunks. The issue is that you actually score open layups and dunks. And that just makes slashers infinitely more effective. Because you see this here. They're not getting blocked. They're actually able... if you go by someone and have an open dunk, you're able to score. So what does that mean? In terms of guards, we're looking at this dude. I've already made a short about this. I've already made a short about this dude right here, who is going to be him. He's going to be him. It's Fred Jones. Now, we all know that Fred Jones is coming out for free. And Fred Jones is going to be a shooting guard that is going to summarize, like, everything that we look for in the MyTEAM game. So Fred Jones is here. You see him, he's dunking in his card art. If you look at Fred Jones, he in his best season was a 38% 3-point shooter. 38% 3-point shooter. Mad. He could shoot. The dude was dunking on everybody. He won a damn dunk contest in 2004. He stopped Jason Richardson winning 3 in a row. He's going to be free. This is like this year's Bob Sura. This is like this year's, I'm trying to get 2K20, who else is beast. This is like this year's Desmond Mason. This is this year's unbelievable slasher. And, like, dude was actually a pretty decent player as well. Again, averaged 10.6 points in his best season. He's going to have things like quick first step. He's going to be a freaking god. And as far as centers go, obviously, you're probably going to look, you're going to have to counter it. So basically, if rim running's overpowered, you're going to have to counter it with big centers. You're probably going to have to make a choice, to be honest, actually. You're probably going to need those big centers, because you can see from those clips, weak players get bullied out of the way. So running a Porzingis might be a negative. It might genuinely be a negative to run a Kristaps Porzingis. Because running a Porzingis just makes things a lot more difficult, because he's going to get bullied. But you really have a choice. You can either go all big body to cover the lane. You can either go with like a Rick Smits. If you don't know who Rick Smits is a 7'4" player. Rick Smits was 7'4". So if you want to go with Rick Smits, go for it. You either go for him, or you can zag and go like 3-point shooting route. You can go and get yourself I would either go one extreme or the other. Honestly, Christian Wood, if he keeps Ray Allen base, is not a bad opposite way extreme. A lot of the modern NBA shooting centers are opposite way extremes, where you give up all your defense to spread the floor out for your slasher, and if you can shoot, you're just gonna get wide open shots. So I think that the way the game mode is going to be played, it's going to be played with I think it's going to be very drive and kick to start the game unless you have Stephen Curry. I think if you get Stephen Curry early in the game, he's going to be a really dominant player. He's just that good. And the way we see with contests, as far as I'm aware of shooting, it's not as easy as 22, but shooting is pretty good. So where's draft? This Steph Curry, he's going to be that dude. I think Pau Gasol might end up being one of those tweener centers, ones that can kind of protect the rim and kind of shoot. Embiid's probably going to be a tweener center. And by tweener, I mean look, you've got three different types of centers that are useful in this game. You got the big bodies / rim protectors / defenders, which some guys like Dwight Howard, you've got 4 types of centers. You've got the athletes, the DeAndre Jordans, Dwight Howards, assuming they give us a lower version of DeAndre Jordan or a past one. Basically, the guys that are not that tall, 7-footers that are ultra athletic, and have really good defense and are gonna catch lobs and stuff. You've got them. You've got the poppers, guys like a Porzingis and a Ibaka, guys whose job is to pop and just hit wide open jump shots. You got the poppers. You got the ultra athletes. You got the big bodies, the Rick Smiths, who are just gonna be super effective because of their size. Regardless of their block rating and stuff, they're going to be good because of their size. Because I always give Rick Smith a low block rating. It doesn't matter. He's 7'4". There's almost no way to patch that out. They always say it every year. Block rating matters. The height matters more. You've got those, and you've got the kind of tweener players that I would say they're kind of in between all of them. You're getting your Embiid, who's going to be a tweener player. He's going to have a 73 ball, mediocre block, mediocre athleticism. He's going to be good at everything, and you're probably going to see Pau Gasol as a tweener as well. And then obviously, you've got your bums. If you don't fit any of those categories, you're a scrub. There will be a lot of high-rated scrubs. Remember last year we saw freaking Elton Brown. This guy's probably going to be a scrub. I'm sorry. As much as we love Dino Raja, if they give him a 7'3" wingspan, he's going to be in that scrub category because Dino Raja can't shoot. He's athletic, but not ultra-athletic, and he's a skinny player build. Unless they give him a 7'7" wingspan or 7'11" wingspan, Dino Raja is going to be a scrub, regardless of his rating. So that's kind of where you want to go with centers. With the way the game is right now, you're gonna want 2 primary ball handlers. You're gonna want 2 ball handlers no matter what. Looking at the way Jordan kind of moves, he doesn't have the greatest dribble style in the world, but he's still going to be able to get open, get to the basket against bad defenders, even with slasher dribble style. So I think you're gonna see a lot of, say, Zach LaVine's running at the 2. If Zach LaVine ends up being a Ruby with his normal card, I think a lot of people are gonna lock in their tokens for a Zach LaVine type player who could be really, really good. I think he could be a really interesting option at the 2. I think you're going to see a lot of Curry-Jordan combos against high-level players because Jordan can play as a lock, offers you something different to a Stephen Curry. And then I can also see a lot of Ja Morant at the 1 surrounded by 4 shooters. There's so many different tactics that you're going to be able to play in day 1. But one thing that is now something that I never predicted are the mid-range shooters. So if the mid-range is effective, there are going to be a lot of really good defensive mid-range shooters. So if you look at, say, I'll go to base set cards from last year. There was a lot of dudes back in the day that were god tier defenders and god tier mid-range shooters. I think. Especially for small forwards, guys that can kind of create. I'm trying to think who would be good. Paul Pressey's too short. Hudson could kind of shoot the 3 ball. Alexander only had his freaking really good card, didn't he? Trying to think of a player. Even a Gus Williams could become more effective because he can shoot that mid-range. All these are 3-point shooters. Doug West had a beast of a release. Let me just find. I'm pretty confident Hudson will be this guy. No, he's an 88 3 ball. Sharif, I can't even think of someone who's a good mid-range and a bad 3 ball. Sapphires, maybe? I know Ricky Pierce is small. Oh, lads, we're kind of lost here. We're lost here, but there's bound to be one. There's bound to be one of them somewhere. Mark Aguirre, perfect. Why does Mark Aguirre need a 78 mid-range? This Mark Aguirre. 92 mid-range, just a passable 3-ball. You're going to be able, if something like this card comes out, my head's covering it. Something like this card comes out, you're going to be getting this guy with the ball in the low post, a couple of jab steps, get a little bit of space, pull up for a jumper. It's going to make the game mode so much more interesting for those type of players. So, yeah, I genuinely do think that play shots that aren't elite, I think the most effective way to play in this game is highly likely going to be 5 shooters on the floor, or 4 shooters surrounded by 1 slasher. I think this game, by the looks of things, and initially how the game starts, it kind of reminds me of post-Mirasan patch NBA 2K20, where you kind of had to make, there was one of 2 choices you could make. You could either use a giant at center, or you could use a shooter and play 5 out. But the game was played very much an inside out. That there wasn't too much like dancing around screens and shooting. I don't think there's, maybe we'll see a Kyrie Irving type player this year, but it's not going to be like 21 or 22 where a lot of the game was as revolved from day one around the 3-point shot. I think the game's going to revolve around driving. I think Jazz is going to be super effective. I think Jordan's going to be effective. I think Fred Jones is going to be a beast. But also, I think your center, I think the 3s and 4s, their only role is going to be spot and shoot. Because yeah, going to the basket is important, but shooting's more important for those positions. So, yeah, I think the game mode's going to be interesting. There's going to be plenty of ways to play. We can see there's a buggy coming day one with the whole strength thing. When I say 3s and 4s, like I can imagine some people, obviously Chet's only a center, but like imagine if Chet had an 83 ball. Or imagine Porzingis can play power forward with an 83 ball. And everyone's like, oh, I'm going to use Porzingis power forward. Then boom, buggy's in there. Bully ball, score. There's so many ways by the looks of things to score this year that it makes the game very interesting. It means there's there's multiple different ways to play. But I do think that slashers, spot-up shooters, and I'm going to say one of 2. Either the poppers who can spread around everyone and let your slashers go to the basket, or the big centers who can actually stop them at the basket are going to be the biggest thing. I think this game's going to look a lot like Play Now at the very start because the lower overalls, and I kind of like that. I really like that. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing freaking 3 hunting too much to start the game. Again, a lot of people aren't going to like that. I personally do. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.